So, what are we looking at here? Slightly unconventional battleship deployment from BATES. They're using a Kurfürst and a Yamato. 1701 sticking to what's turning into the meta here, Thunder and Kremlin. Again, heavy radar on both sides. Des Moines, Nevsky, Petropavlovsk, Stalingrad from BATES. Des Moines, Stalingrad from 1701. So 3 radars. Actually, that's pretty much the minimum I think we're going to see from most teams here. Again, we're seeing a Yoshino, though, so we'll see how well Messenger does in that. And let's see what they do for a deployment. So, Sampuli in the Yeyang again. That's a surprise, actually. Yeyang's always been a little bit underrepresented in King of the Sea, mostly because of the deep water torpedoes, but it does have that surprise radar set, so it might be enough to persuade the destroyers of 1701 to take a more conservative approach. On the other hand, they've got a Småland. They also have a radar-armed destroyer and one with surface-running torpedoes. Even if they don't have the wallop that the Yeyang's deep water torps do, they can still hit a destroyer, which does make something of a difference in a control point knife fight. So, Daring making its first appearance as well. Again, rare boat in the tournament, but well, we'll see. First 22 heading into B. Interesting. It looks actually like both of the BATES destroyers are going to run into B, try and get an early grab of the center, and then push out east and west into the flanks. We're also seeing a similar tactic from Kadir 21 in the Småland. Now, where is the other destroyer? Where's the summons? Okay, Destro pushing around. He's not rolling it up towards point B, which could leave Kadir facing a 2-on-1 knife fight, even if both sides are going to have a degree of cruiser backup as a consequence. So let's see how this plays out, because those destroyers are about to run headfirst into each other. And anyone trying a King of the Sea 3-point turn is going to find themselves at a disadvantage. Okay, collision. Pretty much now. There's the detection. Both Kadir pops his radar almost immediately, starts thing up, and he's misjudged the turn. He's going to beach. Sampuli pulls up as well, opens fire with his guns, comes under fire from the Des Moines. Torpedo launch from Fush, looking for an early shot there. But the Småland is taking a 2-on-1 pacing. We've got some cruiser support coming in as well, but Fush getting the early blood. Kadir tries to turn out, doesn't make it in time, and gets an early hammering and makes a quick exit. But the Summers kicks in. Radar sweep up from the Des Moines. Fush now in serious trouble himself unless he can defilade from a cap there. So, Fush left bolting on 25% health, and he may not get away clean either. He's still spotted. Shots coming in. I think, however, he has just broken contact. That last few broadsides coming in very inaccurately, and he managed to get enough lateral separation that he is now off the fire corridor, and the 1701 team are left to pattern bomb where they think he might be, rather than being certain of where he is. Meanwhile, Sampuli, on his original plan, by the looks of it, backs in to point B, flips the cap point, and is now positioned to run out to the east and take a quick peek into Torpedo Alley. Meanwhile, Sacrato in the Des Moines, nicely defilated on point C, making the early grab there, getting some points in. However, Graham is pushing in the Kremlin. Destro, sticking to his original plan by the looks of it, decides to run into point C, so we have a stalemate in C. It is no longer scoring. Bull Trigger got a few quick shots in on Fush, although he has managed to break contact to an extent. But again, random long-range fire coming in. Actually, I correct that. That is not random. Daring pops its heel and glues a few bits back onto the boat. Fush still legging it, but making a dash to point A as best you can in the Daring. Remember, Daring's got no engine boost. It's not the fastest destroyer in the game by a long shot. However, he is going to get himself into point A, and there is no destroyer over from 1701 to oppose him at this point. So it's going to come down to the radars. Legend MD is within effective range. Bull Trigger is within effective range. Question is, does either of them have a charged radar set ready to go? Just waiting for the white circle of doom to pop up. Neither of them are deploying at the moment. Cap is at 40% gone, 50% gone. First 22 dropping a shotgun spread there. Only the one. His second, of course, was already running out to try to dissuade Legend MD from pushing forwards. And Bull Trigger again taking some early hits. No radar, no spotting, no cap interruption. First 22 manages to take point A. There's the radar, but possibly too little too late. Fush is already on his way out, jinking like mad, and well cleared. In fact, he is actually out of range of the Des Moines radar. Bull Trigger is firing on last known positions, and while Fush does take some hits from speculative fire, he's able to turn off the line of fire, disengage, and in fact, one of the Darren's torpedoes collides with Bull as well, knocking him down to 40,000 health. And with the Des Moines guns having fired recently, he is nicely marked for the Yamato and Stalingrad. Though I don't think Yami can actually get a shot there. There is a mountain that is very effectively blocking his line of fire. Over in point C, Graham there trying to force the corner, had some deep water torps go past. Sam Pulley getting his launchers into play, and well, he managed to pin Graham down briefly, but now Graham knows that he doesn't have to worry about a angry shoal of fish wrecking his day. He does, however, have to worry about Firo. If he tries to come round the corner, he's going to show broadside in the Kremlin, and that is something you do not do. Definitely not to a Grossokirchhoff, and at that kind of range, even getting broadside to a Des Moines might be risky. Those super heavy 8-inch projectiles pack a wallop, especially at close range. Gummy Bear turning in, and I don't know whether he took one or not from the Yang's torpedoes, but he starts throwing some fire at Firo. I think that was armor piercing to start with, so wrong shells in the breach, but he'll probably adjust to high explosive almost immediately. And he's relying on the spotting here from the Summers. I think we're about to see another destroyer collision between Sam and Destro here. Destro gets the torpedoes running just to winkle both Sekrata and Firo out of their current defilated positions, get them to move, and hopefully open them up to Graham's 18-inch guns. Gummy Bear throwing the occasional bit of high explosive. He's just looking to get a track on, but he's also swinging his attention over to Sam Pulley as a consequence. Both teams are presumably aware of the existence of each other's destroyers, given their maneuvers. I suspect they collided briefly, got mutual spots, and then backed off, and we're now seeing a reversal as they swing back in to avoid the map border. Point B, largely deserted, but remember, it is still scoring for Bates. 1701 have really got to get a ship into point B to stop that just taking the map out from underneath them. Likewise, they've got to get into point A. And this is where the fact that they've lost one of their destroyers is really going to bite them. They really needed Kadir in the small end there to give them the extra boat and the extra captains, because this control point right here, this empty patch of water, in 4 minutes, that's going to cost them the game. Fush goes down, so one destroyer each, and it was the Thunderer that finally caught him. But Bull, there's not going to be torpedo beats there. I don't know whether he was tunneled up on the Yamato's side or just didn't dare turn out with a loaded Yamato pointing at his broadside, but he's trying to get into, but I think he's going to overcook if he tries. Yamato shells out straight into the nose, but it isn't complete murder. And wow, Graham bulldozing the corner there. He's going for the ram, but Bates is backing up hard. Sekrata manages to avoid imminent headbutting, I think, and does so long enough for the Petropavlovsk and the Nevsky to take down the Kremlin. Graham staged one mad charge around there, I think, in an effort to force point C. Unfortunately, it's not working out for him. Legend MD pushes in to point A and does flip it, but in the process, the Des Moines of Bull Trigger was hammered down by the Yamato, the Stalingrad, and the Yoshino. So 1701 are now in a really rough position. They've got to get Thwacker Blaster and Mugikat back into the action fairly quickly. They have got point A, and they can start rolling up here, but it's 3-on-3. And the Yamato, if it gets turned round, can potentially deadlock the Thunderer and the Venezia and keep them out of the game. Point B, still quietly ticking away to give Bates the game. Gummy Bear there pushing up into Torpedo Alley, trying to get round behind the Des Moines of Sacrata, but he got spotted in the process. Sacrata nicely deflated, but I don't think he's going to avoid all those torpedoes. Yeah, he does. Nice bit of low-speed torpedo beat there from Sacrata. Point C remains deadlocked, and Gummy Bear again pinned down by the angles. He cannot advance up to dislodge Sacrata from point C without handing his flank over to Gunsmoke and Panzer Commander, who are at this point content just to sit back and hammer him with high explosive. Sam Pulley, by the way, dropping deep water torpedoes again, gets caught on radar, however, immediate shells out, but those were armor-piercing rounds. How fast can Gummy Bear reload to high explosive, and will he even bother? Because that's a Russian radar set. The duration is not long enough to make it worthwhile firing high X and then having to change back. But we'll see if he does it. There goes Sam, and yet he did switch ammo type. Sam takes a couple of solid hits, but torpedoes are closing. One deep water on the bow, and impact. Did it flood? Yes, it did. Can he dam combat? Yes, he does. Immediate. Actually, no. No, he did not. His flooding lights are still going. So either he has decided that he can ride that flood, or he doesn't have a damage control ready to contain it. Interesting. Meanwhile, in point A, remember, point B, still unoccupied, and still giving Kadir reason to think he was still alive. Besides the obvious cause, Legend Mid trying to chase a Yamato with Stalingrad and the Yoshino, but I suspect, yeah, he's thought better of it. He's backing up and letting the Thunderer and the Venezia join up, but I think he might have given too much angle. The Yoshino's looking for shots and can lob shells over the island. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Right, so Legend goes down, hammered out by the retreating boats from Bates. However, point C is now flipping. Summers was able to get torpedoes into the Des Moines. Sacrata finally died on his hill. However, we have another salvo of deep water torpedoes coming into Gummy Bear. And Gummy, if he goes for reverse, he might torpedo be that. No, it just kissed the port side of the ship there and then exploded. So Gummy is flooding again, and if he didn't have a damcon before, he's probably wishing he does now. 25,000 health and ticking. The Yamato of SFC has been knocked out as well. Bates are staging controlled retreat, but I wonder if they haven't given up too much max control as a result. It looked fine when they were 2 points to 1 up and point C was deadlocked in their favour, but now it's starting to look shaky for Bates. They're having to retreat off the control points. Thwacker Blaster is on a course for B. That will make it 3 points to 0 for 1701. Remember, point B has just sat there quietly for this game, and it's given Bates a significant advantage, almost 400 points, but Thwacker is about to bring that happy time to an end. There we go, point contested. So, are we going to see one of the first serious comebacks of this tournament? Thwacker drops some long-range pasta torps just as a deterrent. Remember, Italian torps, they're slow, but they pack a fairly significant punch, and because they're so slow, they have a tendency to pop up where you're not expecting them. Meanwhile, Thunderer of Muggy Cat on half health, but he's kind of trolling up, and he's been doing some solid long-range work, and if the Petropavlovsk of Bates in under Gunsmoke 29 doesn't watch his right flank, he might be about to get a very unpleasant surprise, because, well, he's looking to engage Thwacker Blaster. He knows Thwacker's there, of course. Now, okay, he has actually thought better just barreling round to fight the Venezia. Smart man, at least from a point of view of survival. But remember, 1701 now have all 3 control points, and they are catching up. They are 4 minutes away from a score win. Gummy Bear, what's left of him, is backing up, disengaging, and making repairs. The Hindenburg of Herr, who we haven't seen much of this engagement, is now right out on the flank and is potentially going to start making things even more awkward for Bates. This has really turned around in the last 2 minutes. Bates was thoroughly in control of the first half of this game, and I thought they had it, but wow. All of a sudden, 1701 managed to push in and have just ground it in. Gunsmoke pushing round the corner, playing ring around the rosy with Thwacker here. Long-range Yoshino talks coming in to give Thwacker a nasty surprise if he turns to bow on, and he is turning to bow on. So he's going to take one on the nose, maybe. Nope, just gets past one on the stern. However, ouch! Messenger fired and Muggy Cat was waiting. That was what I thought was going to happen to Gunsmoke. It happened to the Yoshino instead. And that big exposed citadel in the Yoshino, that's why you tend not to see them very often in King of the Sea. That kind of thing has an alarming habit of happening. Dev struck by Muggy Cat, or at least it would be if you weren't in a training room. Okay, so Gunsmoke diving into point A, desperate attempt to stop the rot. 3 minutes 33 until Bates take the win. They have almost pulled back the score difference. They are 30,000 health up. They are one ship up. And critically, they have got, well, maybe they can make it. They have still got the Summers. On the other hand, both sides of Destro has still got his ship as well. So, Yang versus Summers. Where is the Yang anyway? Sam is wriggling his way into point C. Bates could maybe stage a last-minute rally here. It's going to depend because Panzer Commander is in a bad position. Gummy Bear goes down. Torpedo hit from the Yang finally puts the Stalingrad down and critically takes the last radar ship that 1701 had out of the fight. Panzer Commander, however, is in a rough position. He's got the Venezia and the Summers in front of him. It's left of Venezia, but again, Muggy Cat off to the left flank. And yep, here they come, 18 inches of British displeasure. And Panzer Commander survives that by the skin of his teeth. But here come the other 4 shells. And he's had to slow and turn significantly. And that might have foxed Muggy Cat's fire control just enough. All the shells go high. All of them smash into the side of the cliff and spare the ship. Point A has flipped back to Bates. Point C has flipped back to Bates. 5 kills apiece. And wow, Bates are now 2 minutes away from a score win. Gunsmoke closing in. He's got Muggy Cat right behind him, but small target profile, and it may be just enough side to deflect those 18-inch monster shells. Muggy Cat's turning into pursuit, barreling into point C to deadlock it. Destro's coming around the corner looking for torpedo hits. And of course, if Gunsmoke carries on this course, which he really has got to do in order to evade the Summers' torpedoes, he's going to run right into the pass as well. Here come the torps from Destro. 4 down the line. Another 4 ahead of it to anticipate. And can Gunsmoke make this stick? If too many of these connect, full health, Petropavlovsk or not, this is going to hurt. So he's anticipating 1, takes it on the side there, but in the process turns out and gives Muggy the border. However, Destro only fired 2. Remember, Summers has 3 launchers. So where is that 3rd salvo? There is the 3rd salvo. Gunsmoke's going to be harder stern on his engines, praying he can get enough momentum to evade the worst of it. Dodges 1 aft, dodges 2 forward, takes the 3rd on the belt, and manages to ride, but he is flooding. Can he control that? Destro breaking away to reload. And point B has flipped while we were distracted by that. Velociking manages to get into point B, flipping it back over to Bates' control. Less than a minute left of this game before 1701 find themselves losing what was a valiant last charge. Velociking pushes in. Italian torpedoes coming around the corner, trying to catch him out, but no dice there. Velociking stays down, looking for the kill on the Summers. Shots go into the water. Hindenburg of 1701 here, barreling in from the eastern flank. Can he stop the rot long enough? He's going to buy his team about 30 seconds at this pace. 20 seconds. 19, 18. Point C goes into contest. Timer goes back up to 36 seconds. Can they kill Destro in 30 seconds? They have to drop either him or the Venezia of Thwacker Blaster. Panzer Commander, unfortunately, has been run completely out of engagement. Shells coming over from Destro looking for the kill. 18 seconds remaining. And the Petropavlovsk is toast. 1701, kill the Petropavlovsk. Was that enough to do it? It was not. Bates take the win. Ooh, that was a close one, ladies and gentlemen. But congratulations to Bates. I genuinely thought they had lost that in the second third of the match. Whew, what a game, ladies and gentlemen. What a game.